a positive mom is not a perfect mom. Okay. In fact, she actually takes the picture of perfection off the wall and throws it away, recognizing that life isn't perfect, people aren't perfect, and moms aren't perfect.
The Channel Mom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Brought to you by Pediatric Dental Group of Colorado, creating positive and rewarding dental visits for kids of all ages since 1977.
Good.
Yeah. We're here with Carol Ladd, the author of Defuse, a mom's survival guide for more love, less anger. And she's got a number of other books that we're going to talk about as well. The Power of a Positive Mom. I think every mom out there could use that. We are talking about anger issues, and I told moms we would tell them how to get a hold of your mom's anger self-evaluation. So tell moms how they can go take that test, and then how they can take their trigger points that they discover on this test and deal with them, how they can improve their reactions and not be angry and scream and yell and things like that.
Yes. Well, first of all, the anger evaluation is available in two places. It's available on my website at positivemom.com, and it is also available at or in my book called Defuse. So if you go just anywhere online and order the book Defuse, you can find the anger evaluation in there. And as far as it leads you through several different areas to look at maybe what is causing that anger from maybe your past or maybe from your surroundings, your current surroundings, and also what trigger points happen just in your daily life. I wanted to talk about trigger points, and we talked earlier about how many there are.
Yeah, and Carol, I'm just going to interrupt you just for a second. So you take the test, and then you got your results, and so moms are going to want to know what do the results look like, and then how do you go from there to improve yourself?
Yes, okay, and on this test, there is no score. It's not like I give you a score that you say, oh, good, I am 98% not angry, or you score a 50 and go, oh my word, I'm half angry, I am terrible. That's not. There's no score on the test. What happens is it is an identifier. This test helps you identify and bring out what's going on the inside, and so it helps you to take a look at what you've got, what's your key points, what's making you spur off into anger, and also how you express that anger. And then I tell you how to use it, and you also, throughout the book, you kind of learn some different tips on how to use it, use the test. But basically what it helps you do is say, okay, now here are my trigger points. Yeah. Now, we don't know exactly when those are going to happen. I mean, they usually catch us off guard, in fact. Yeah. We can be going through it any day and think, this is a great day. Everything's running along smoothly. And then all of a sudden, boom, without notice, without warning, we are angry. Something happens and it makes us angry. And so we want to be ready for that and recognize, that's one of my trigger points. That's one of the things that I know sets me off. And so if we have recognized it ahead of time, we can also recognize, what can I do differently than just spew out in anger? Yeah. How can I work through this differently? And when we recognize our trigger points before they happen, we can also think through good solutions before we become angry.
Oh, that's right. And do you offer some of those alternatives in the book? Because I know that there must be some moms out there that think, but not me. I just can't stop myself from yelling. Do you offer something so that they can interrupt that and change the behavior?
Absolutely, absolutely. Ways to think through differently and respond differently, and also looking at, sometimes our trigger points might be because we are hungry or tired, or we have a personal issue with somebody hurting us in that area, or saying something or questioning our parenting. That could come from just a personal self-image. That we want to make sure that we come out as the perfect mom. Perfectionist attitude. So we deal with all that in the book. But I do want to say one thing that helps in every situation when you feel that that anger kind of starting to erupt, I do encourage moms, if you haven't been able to dissuade that trigger point and think differently ahead of time, then I do encourage moms to use the STOP method, STOP.
Okay.
And S stands for step away from the situation. If you are about to erupt, it is a good idea to step into another room if it's the kids that are making you angry. But sometimes that step away from the situation means just step back and look at the bigger picture. Okay. Is this really that important to yell about? Is this really that that significant that it demands a outblast of anger?
Yeah.
So stepping away from the situation. T stands for take several deep, calming breaths of fresh air.
I'm doing that right now.
It even helps to physically go outside.
Yeah.
Get into the sunshine and take in some deep breaths of fresh air. That relaxes your body physically. That even no matter where you are, if you're driving, take several deep, calming breaths. Okay. That gives you also some moments to calm down, but it physically relaxes you.
And then O?
O stands for objectively look at the situation. And at that point, just thinking, allowing your brain to regroup, because anger, the hormones are going in your brain, and it's hard to think clearly. So once you've taken several deep, calming breaths, then begin to identify what is making me angry.
Okay.
Identify that trigger point, or identify, am I hormonal right now? Am I mad because my husband said something to me this morning? Am I mad at my mother-in-law and I'm about to take it out on the kids?
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it pride? Am I mad because my kid making a C on the spelling test is making me look bad? Just objectively look at the root issue.
And then P.
And then P, pray.
Yeah.
Pray.
Amen, girl.
And recognize that you are not alone, that you need a higher power to help you.
Yeah.
That you need. I constantly, in the midst of that moment where I want to spew out, instead taking that deep breath, objectively looking at the situation and looking at, maybe this is a point where I can discipline, but I need to do it without yelling. But then praying, oh, Father, help me. Oh, Lord. And I'm not saying scream, oh, Lord, help me.
Yeah.
Rather in a respectful way, just saying, Father, help me. I am weak, but you are strong. I need your strength right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Carol, I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to let Shelley ask a question about the positive stuff, but I used to lock myself in a prayer closet, I called it, and my kids would be pounding on the door to get in, and I'd just be like, Mommy's praying. It's just better for you that I'm praying. And I would do it so that I could diffuse, like the title of your book, and we should remind people that this is Carol Ladd, the author of Defuse, a mom's survival guide for more love and less anger. So you do want to get a hold of that for all these tips. But Carol, I want to quickly get, because we've only got about 6 or 7 minutes left, to The Power of a Positive Mom. Love that book. I will tell you, you didn't want this, but it did make me feel a little guilty, because I thought, I can't possibly be as positive as Carol is, because you're so positive. But every mom out there could just use a little injection of your positivity. I want you to give us 1 or 2 quick tips, and then I want Shell to ask you a question based on what you said. So what are 1 or 2 really quick tips about why and how we can be more positive moms?
Well, and the most important thing to recognize is that a positive mom is not a perfect mom. Okay. In fact, she actually takes the picture of perfection off the wall and throws it away, recognizing that life isn't perfect, people aren't perfect, and moms aren't perfect. We all struggle in different areas, but we can choose to build into our kids. A positive mom is one who looks at her responsibility and recognizes that through her encouraging words, sincere and encouraging words, and her example, she can make a difference, a positive difference in the next generation. So in my book, Power Positive Mom, I just really encourage moms to recognize the significance of their role, but then to pour into their kids through sincere and specific encouragement, not flattery, not just, oh, good job, even when they've done a really pitiful job,
Yeah.
But being sincere and specific, but then also teaching through our example, teaching through our own values, passing on our value system, and then also disciplining wisely and in love, but setting those boundaries, those healthy boundaries that every child needs.
Yeah, those can be positive. And let me just inject there quickly before Shelley asks her question. Abraham Lincoln, credits his mom for who he was, and leader after leader through our, country's history, the moms were credited with who these men and women became. So remember, you could be raising the next Abe Lincoln and change the world for it. So there's power in that. There really is power in a positive mom. So Shelley, did you have a question?
Well, you gave us all the tips for what to do to prevent our blow-ups with our anger. But what about when we blew it? when we just lost that one? Whether it be with
that's true.
Not being positive with our kids, or we just lost our anger, something. I blow it.
I like it. So you're getting that
times a day.
When we're not positive, when we're angry, when we've been angry.
Yeah.
How do we recover? Is that what you're asking, Shell?
Totally messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And boy, haven't we all been there?
Yes.
And I think one of the most important things we can do is to apologize to our kids when we have lost it. To still set those boundaries, and if there is discipline that was necessary toward the kids, to say, now, this doesn't take away from what you did wrong and the discipline that you're going to receive for that, but Mommy realizes that she was way over the top angry. This is not the way I want to respond in anger with my anger, and I apologize to you. Next time I want to be more kind, and will you forgive me in the way I yelled and screamed? And there's nothing more healthy than asking forgiveness and allowing our kids to see that we recognize our own shortcomings, that we recognize that we too struggle. And this helps our kids learn to ask for forgiveness when they need to. And it also helps them understand that we're learning, we're growing, we're not some dominant dictator, ruling with iron fist, but we recognize the importance of discipline as well as humility.
Yeah. And that was a great question, Shelley. I'm glad you asked it, because I do wonder how to recover from that. And and it's always made me feel better, strangely, when I've said, I'm sorry, and will you forgive me? And then you are right, we're modeling. And then our kids I've watched my kids do it with each other. I'm sorry, will you forgive me? And it's a great thing to model. Carol, we've got about 45 seconds left. You do have a new book that every mom could be blessed by. Tell us about your new book.
It's a wonderful book called Unfailing Love. And it's wonderful because it reminds every woman that she is deeply, sincerely, unconditionally loved by God the Father. And I am so thankful. I am so thankful for this book. It really transformed me as I wrote it. And it's based on a book in the Bible called 1 John. And it was really helpful to me. And I do believe it will be helpful to every mom.
Oh, I think so too. Carol Ladd, wonderful author, positive mom. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.